Hi, and welcome to Strap a Watch. I'm Michael Knapp Leather. Man, I cannot wait to show you the final product. You know, I say that on just about every episode, but it's never rung more true than on this show. This is Royal Midnight Blue Alligator that's going to be going on a Patek Philippe watch. And the guy has sent me some video of the strap on the watch. It's going to be included towards the end of this video. Please watch the whole video, though. Don't just stop now and go to the end. Watch this making of these straps so that you can appreciate them more once you do see it on the watch. All right, this is Horween navy blue shell Cordovan that I've upgraded him for the linings. And this is a double strap order from a repeat customer of mine. He's also a YouTuber. He's got a YouTube channel, and I'm going to include his channel with a review that he's done on the other strap that you're going to be seeing me also make, which is a whiskey tan Shinki Hikaku shell Cordovan leather strap for a Rolex Datejust. And you'll also see that on his wrist as well. So, again, please watch the entire show because, you know, otherwise you're going to kind of lose the ambiance of what, you know, my channel is really all about. And, you know, I put a lot of effort into these shows. So, please, you know, and if you do like the channel, subscribe. And hit the bell notification. It really does help me. I rarely even ask for that. And listen, you guys, man, I don't monetize my site. I don't monetize this channel at all, you know. So I could be making some money off this, but I hate ads on YouTube. I cannot stand watching YouTube and having to, you know, skip ad, but you have to watch 5 seconds, and sometimes you have to watch a lot more or 2 ads. I do not monetize my site, so unless YouTube's putting some kind of ads on there, you're not getting them from me. So all I would ask is, since it's free, just watch the show, you know, and if you like it, subscribe. And if you do subscribe and you ever want to get a strap from me, I offer 10% discount, and that's also listed in the description area. So the description area used to say description below these videos. Now it says show more. And in there is where I'll have a link to the gentleman. He goes by SD. S is in Sam, D is in David on his channel. He's never given me permission to state his name. I didn't really even ask. But let's, like I said, call him Dr. SD. And I'll leave a link to his review of this tan one that I'm also making. He hasn't yet, that I'm aware of, made a review for the Patek. So we'll see if he ends up doing that. But he did send me some really cool video shots of it and on his wrist. So I cannot wait to show you guys that. But yeah, I mean, this is a whole process, and I don't show each single step. I mean, I think you guys would get kind of bored, but I kind of show you guys what I think would be kind of fascinating for you to see, and how things are handmade and how I hand make straps. You know, you got a lot of, let's call them armchair leather crafters that tell me, oh, you're doing this wrong or you're doing that wrong. And all I would say is the final products speak for themselves, and how happy my customers are, you know, when they receive their straps and actually wear the straps on their watches. That's where the rubber hits the road. So if any of you other leather crafters or maybe even watch strap makers see how I'm doing things, you can steal whatever you want. I am completely self-taught, and a lot of what I learned I did by, you know, reading books, because I started in the late 80s before there was any internet. And I also, went down to the Tandy Leather store in my hometown when I was kind of starting out. Didn't really ever take any classes, but I sat down with people and, asked a lot of questions, and they would show me different things and techniques. Back in the day, I used to make a lot of knife sheaths and gun holsters and stuff like that. Even up until about 4 or 5 years ago, on my website, I had all kinds of things for sale, from wallets and bags and placemats, which I kind of specialized in. And then, here I'm a watch geek, and I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. But that's when, it was kind of a vision from God of this channel and switching and just being total, focused as a specialty on watch straps. So that's how this all kind of came about. Again, I can't believe I didn't think of this back in the 90s, but, here I am, an audio prosthologist. I run and operate a hearing healthcare clinic, and, it doesn't mean I'm the smartest tool in the world. I just work hard. That's all, My wife asked me the other day, she goes, "Hey, what do you know about helium?" And I said, well, it's, the second element in the periodic table of elements. It has 2 protons, 2 electrons, 2 neutrons, and that's what the sun is basically producing, is, fusing hydrogen, creating helium, and, that's what, nuclear fusion is, thermonuclear fusion. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, you really know a lot about this. You're so smart." I said, "No, honey, I'm just educated." If you guys knew how hard it was for me to get through school, and I tell people this all the time, I am truly dyslexic. For real, hardcore dyslexic. And the school was tough. It really was. I had to study about 3 times as hard as the next person just to get through school, and a lot of dyslexics, I'm sure there's, some of you are dyslexic listening to this show. It's kind of like it's one or the other. You're either, a real high achiever, or you end up being a ditch digger, But there's so many big-time names of people that are dyslexic. And, I just never let it hold me back. It was hard. And it's still hard. It's not something you get rid of. But boy, especially in school, grade school was really, really tough because it took me forever. Think about it. When you're learning how to read English, and they, back in my day, I'm 58, so, going to school in the late 60s through the 70s and early 80s, especially when you're young in the late 60s, early 70s, I never heard of dyslexia. And everything was hooked on phonics. You read phonetically. Sound it out, Michael. Sound the word out. Well, you come across a word like weigh, W-E-I-G-H. Just, you try and sound that out, okay? And there's tons and tons and tons of words that, oh my gosh. And I'm still the worst speller in the world. Thank God for, modern technology where I can just go into my phone, go to the dictionary, try and spell a word, and it'll say, "Oh, is this it?" Yeah. And even, I went to Bible college, same college Billy Graham graduated from back in 1940. I was there in the mid-2000s. And, here growing up in a household that, we never went to church. We weren't that kind of a family growing up. My parents were both kind of hippie intellectuals. My father was a veterinarian. He was killed in a car accident when I was 10 years old. And, my mom was super highly educated, and, they didn't, we didn't go to church. And when I kind of got right with God when I was 40 years old and started going to church and decided to go to Bible college, Man, was that tough, because you're coming across, these biblical names. I couldn't pronounce them, especially how do you spell stuff like that. So Trinity College of Florida is where I went, and tremendous school. I only got 1 B+, all the rest were A's. And I was pretty proud of that because, man, it was tough. And even the guy that gave me the B+, I'll tell you a quick story about this. Oh, man, I was actually pretty upset because he told us that the first day of class, when you get your syllabus, he grades it on 2 papers, a midterm paper and a final paper, a midterm exam, a final exam, and I believe it was 4 pop quizzes, right? And his papers, you needed to have it publishable. That's how good it had to be. Here's final product, so just keep watching this. There's the surprise. That was that aftermarket Rolex Pin Buckle that I had included for him special. But, I aced both exams, the midterm and the final. I got an A on all of the pop quizzes, and I got B+ on both the midterm and the final paper. And he ended up giving me a B+ for the class. And I went right up to him. Here I was like 42 at the time, and he was younger than I was. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, well, let me ask you something. Did you learn a lot in my class? I said, I probably learned more in your class than I ever learned. And he said, well, what you're dealing with there is a pride factor, Michael. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? I felt I really merited an A, at least an A-. Come on. But nope, I got a B+, and that was that. So you're looking at all these final product shots as I'm rambling. And here's that whiskey tan that he did the show on his YouTube channel. So here's a link to that episode, so you can please go and watch that, and you're going to see where I pulled some of that off of his show, and there's that lighter kind of colored from the other end of that shell Cordovan chip. So shell Cordovan, what it is, it's horsehide, and it's kind of the top hip back kind of ass area on a horse, and you get 2 chips. They're oval shaped, and they're ranging from about 1.5 square feet to up to about 3 square feet, and they are buku bucks. And Shinki Hikaku, this leather, takes them a year to tan in Japan. So here it is on his Datejust. So this is pretty cool because he actually showcases taking the bracelet off, putting the strap on, and he really covers the strap, goes through all of the different features on the strap. And, the one thing he did say was, that there was a slight delay, like I was saying, and it was because I almost cut my thumb off. Other than that, he really loves the strap. But yeah, it was within the time frame that I stated. It's up to, 6 to 8 weeks. I think it was right at about the 8-week mark or so. So there's that pin buckle. He was really pleased that I ended up throwing that in at no cost. And if he only knew, too, I'm throwing in the shell Cordovan leather linings. Typically, my linings are Zermatt calfskin, so just so that you know. And here's a nice wrist roll. Very cool. I just love it. I think it looks gorgeous. And here it is with a dress shirt. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And now I'm going to show you guys one more time the blue one before we see it on the watch. So again, quick release spring bars, right? And Royal Midnight Blue Alligator with navy blue Horween shell Cordovan leather linings. There's the lining side. So gorgeous. There's my logo right there. And there's the quick release spring bar. You can see the little knobs. And there it is on the watch. Is that something or what? Just look at that color, because that's a real deep midnight blue dial as well. It almost looks black, but it's actually a deep dark blue. Here it is with a sport coat. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thanks for doing these, SD. I really appreciate it, man. And hopefully you get some more views on that your channel from my channel. That would be cool. Well, this is how they come boxed up. All right, I had these boxes professionally made, and yes, if you do like the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, hit the like button if you like the show. One last look at both straps. Man, I think you can tell I had a lot of fun with this build out, and I got another show in the hopper right now, getting ready to put it out for Grand Seiko. Thanks for watching, you guys. God bless you all, and until next time, keep on ticking.